don't, for any reason, ever share your private keys, passphrases, passwords, or click suspicious links. Everyone all the time is trying to steal your stuff, so go slow and be careful. There's no point making all this money just to give it to a thief.
Are you tired of all the uneducated noise you're getting from the droves of YOLO meme coin peddling douchebag gurus out there trying to use you as their exit liquidity? Would you rather learn a competent university-level set of skills that will guide you in managing and investing for the rest of your life? Join us 3 days a week at Digital Investor. Develop your knowledge of game theory, cognitive bias, macroeconomics, monetary theory, investment theory, psychology of the crowds, and more. For more info on Digital Investor and how it can help you, reach out at nickblacknext.com.
Look at all the peoples. I think I figured out what one of the issues was with my system. I had this where all the USBs go in and a USB-C comes out. It was like metal. I thought I have this thought that things that are metal are better than things that are plastic.
In theory,
metal.
Yeah,
No,
because it should be more hardy.
That's a bad theory.
Because it's a electrostatic magnet.
It's a damn dumpster fire, what it is. And so I went through where all my metal connections were, and I replaced them with new plastic ones that had little LED lights and crap like that in them and stuff. And then weird. I'm not saying there's no more problems, but I haven't had one yet.
Hey, I sent this to you yesterday, but the one thing, if you guys are on Telegram, there are going to be a lot of people, especially if you join these groups, Singularity DAO, Hypercycle group, any group you join, people will then start to DM you all kinds of stuff. They will say they are an administrator. They will say they own Singularity DAO. They will say they have access to special airdrops. All of those are scams. If anybody DMs you, it is a scam on Telegram.
Oh,
100%.
Brandon, I thought
100%.
you DM'd me.
No, this is, yeah.
It said you were the president of internet.
It said, and it will say, hey, my name's Brandon. I'm going to DM you. Like, you'll know, like, you can tell within 8 seconds if it's me or not, probably, because I will misspell the first 6 words.
Wow, what up?
Yeah. Anyway, so do not stake your coins with any of these robots that DM you, and do not pay them gas fees for a transaction to go through.
Stupid robots.
This happens.
Let me do some real quick. Do we have any housekeeping to do? We're at.
No, you guys are rocking and rolling now. I think you guys have started to figure out how to pay with crypto, which is actually really good. And we'll talk about something that we're doing over in Digital Investor later in the show that's going to facilitate this even further. But nodes are rocking and rolling. I think I've updated the FAQ list over at the Hypercycle page on our website. So if you have any questions that have not been answered, those should already be over there. I've answered exhaustively questions now. I think everything's answered in the world. If there's more questions, I'll answer those too.
You know how you can say FAQ? Fuck you.
Not me, but I'll say FAQ.
No, fuck you.
That's right.
You're not cussing.
Okay.
Say it.
The Q, like the Q.
Fa.
I see what you're saying.
Q.
So it's FAQ.
Say it. Say
it. Some robot's gonna come get this stream in the future. What the? The subtitles would read it.
Okay, so some real quick. I guess the only housekeeping would be yesterday we released a new tech tip video that people need to go check out, and that was you're teaching people to safely open a MetaMask account.
Correct. Yeah,
so
MetaMask
important.
Our core hot wallet is going to be MetaMask going forward. That's what we're going to use as part of our training university, MetaMask. We're going to be doing all of our transactions on the Ethereum blockchain from the MetaMask wallet. So if you do not have one, go watch that video. It's a really good one.
Philip had a debacle. There was a debacle. And Brandon snapped. Well, Brandon is president of internet.
That's true. Philip, I'm glad we got you taken care of.
So, okay. So we had the video that you released yesterday, which was the tech tips video. We had this morning that just went live was This Week in Hypercycle. And it's a good one because Toofy talks about a lot of cool stuff. So go check that out if you haven't seen it after this.
Mm-hmm.
We also had what else? I think I may have put the link in many of the groups. The interview I did with Anthony Scaramucci a few weeks ago. Well, gosh, been like 2 months now. That was back in the old digital heavyweight days with Money Laundering Press. Sorry, Money Morning Live. So essentially, that is we were working on Digital Investor, but I don't think we talked about it because it was still under wraps. So anyway, yeah. But it's a cool interview, I guess. I haven't heard it. Who knows how they cut it? But Anthony's really cool. I like him a lot. I don't want him managing my money, but I like him he's like a cool dude. So there you go. I mean, maybe Novogratz is a cool dude. I'm not loaning him $4 because he'll give me back no bucks and maybe some debt. Anyways, that's cool. That's all the housekeeping on the things that we released. Remember that whenever we do, Brandon, how often are you doing emails based on when we release new video? Because we release like 1 or 2 videos every single day. So maybe it doesn't.
There's almost an email every day, and each one of those emails has a piece of information in it that's absolutely free. So tech tips, either this interview with Toofy, like yesterday I sent out the tech tip, the MetaMask tech tip. Today I'll probably send out this interview with Toofy. If you didn't see it already, I'll send it out as a repeat so you'll be able to see that.
And maybe put the link in there for the Mooch interview for any of those that listen to like Apple Podcast. Yeah, BitBoy is gone. Bye. Let me see. Howard asks, Brandon, have you signed me up as a monthly payment member? Oh, wait, you have signed me up, but my wife paid for 6 months with crypto. Really? So she's actually more crypto woke than you, Howard?
This is interesting. Let me check Howard right now. I'll see where he's at. He is.
Well, that's cool. Okay. You've not been getting emails. If you signed up on the list, if you went to nickblacknext.com. Now remember, if you were a digital heavyweight, we don't have access to any of that stuff. We're not sending digital heavyweights anything because that's not us. If you signed up at Nick Black Next, then you get, we're at 314 subs. Remember, this isn't like a damn telethon thing or whatever they call those, but we're going to 1,000 people, and we have the same thing. We also have a limit on digital private client of 100 people, right? So we're at like 49 or 50 right now for private client. When we get to 100, that's cut off. And on this one, at 1,000 people, that's cut off. We're doing a lot of stuff in the back end. And I don't know, Brandon, are we ready to do like a little walkthrough of the back end? Did you want to do that later? Or are we not quite ready yet?
We could do that. We could do that live, but I'm gonna make a whole video again on when we get the university out. But yeah, we could do that live today. Howard, by the way, I see where she tried to do the transaction and it did not go through. So maybe double check that.
If you hear 2 sets of voices and it's not 2 different voices, like one is me and one is Brandon, you probably have the window open twice. You may have the feed open in two of your little tabs. Anyway, let's get to the AI news, of which there is some cool news. Man, Tesla is fighting back.
As they should.
Digital heavyweight, I don't know what. No, there's no more digital heavyweight. Everybody knows that, right? There's no more digital heavyweight.
We know that, Nick. We know that.
And Joseph, I did a show yesterday where we talked about that at great length. Remember, for everybody that's not completely aware, Grayscale won its lawsuit against the SEC, forcing them to the district court to remand back to the SEC to reevaluate the reason that they turned down the transition from Grayscale's trust to a Bitcoin spot settled ETF. They didn't say Grayscale gets to have a spot settled ETF. They kicked it back, and the court said the SEC's decision, their answer, was not sufficient, was not governance. So the SEC is going to have to reissue whatever their edict is or their opinion. And then that may be, if it's another big fat no, maybe again kicked up to this district court in another appeal. I don't think Grayscale is going to win because I think it's good. Everybody was like, woo woo, yeah, but we're going. I think BlackRock is going to win. BlackRock's not doing all this so that Grayscale can convert their fund and BlackRock can be second in line. Grayscale is big in the crypto space, but they are a mite. They are a free-floating freaking neutrino in the cold, dark universe compared to the size and enormity of BlackRock. So again, the decision wasn't a win for Grayscale other than Grayscale said, hey, your original answer, SEC, was both arbitrary and capricious. You're dealing with a spot ETF different than a cash settled ETF. And the reason the SEC said was because you can't stop manipulation. Like, okay, but if that's the case, you can't stop manipulation in the other ETFs either, of which there are 9 currently. So it is a bit arbitrary. It is a bit capricious. And I know why the SEC doesn't want a spot settled ETF, because then people would actually have to be transacting Bitcoin instead of synthetic pieces of paper that have, there's no onus of ownership. Like in the gold market, when I was in the refining business, if I would sell 100 ounces of gold for future delivery, I had to deliver the effing gold, man. Like we had to send 100 ounces of gold. We couldn't just be like, oh, well, now we could buy back the contract if the price of gold dropped and we could cash settle it. But we had to deliver the actual asset. And if I sell a futures contract and the other party wants delivery, which in gold they always do, in precious metals, we have to physically deliver. Well, that situation of physical delivery doesn't exist with a cash settled product. So that's what the big deal is that it would force all of the market participants to either own the Bitcoin that you sell. You can't naked sell futures, at least you're not supposed to in the commodity space. And again, what you're supposed to do and what happens is a lot different, but you wouldn't be able to naked sell 250 Bitcoin without owning 250 Bitcoin. And it takes all the side peripheral cash players and it puts them in a position where they either own the Bitcoin, are willing to own the Bitcoin, or get the F out of the way, which to me is a much cleaner, much more real market. And I guess the SEC doesn't want that because they don't want a real, because it would make Bitcoin almost clearly a commodity at that point. And then their arguments over whether they can regulate certain things would go away. I think there's more to it than that, but that's my dumb opinion. All right. Great. Is there another interview posted with Tufi? Yeah, this morning, about an hour and 14 minutes ago.
This is also on the Digital Investor Dashboard. So you'll go there. You'll be able to watch everything there.
What is the coupon code? +1 trillion. No, there's no coupon code. That's so that in the future, we might be able to do a coupon code of some kind. We do not currently have one.
Let's do this. Let's do this now so I can answer a lot of questions really quickly.
Yep.
Sorry. This is just going to be easier.
Let's get it.
Let's get here right now. Okay. So here is the Digital Investor Dashboard. This is where you're probably watching us right now. If you push play right here, in the future, this is starting Friday. You'll come here, you'll watch all of our videos here. This is going to be locked and loaded. It's not going to be on YouTube anymore. We're going to watch them here. So you come here, you watch the video, bloody bloody. Down here, this is kind of cool. You have different sections where you can see different things. One section that we like is the hypercycle section. A couple of people asking about this node list. They keep asking me if it's updated, even though it gives the updated date right here, like very clearly. So I love you all. I love your frustration. My frustration is bigger.
So it is or isn't updated?
Okay, that's a good question, Nick, and I appreciate that question. But if we look at the Gregorian calendar, we see, updated 8/28. I'm sorry. I don't want to be mean, but like, guys, please stop. I can get so many questions. Oh my gosh. And then, anyway, so this is kind of cool though. There is a red line here. This is something that I haven't talked about. You see this red line? Below this red line, these NFTs have not been dropped yet, which means, yeah, I have a lot of work to do, but we're going to talk about this later in the show, why I haven't done this, and it's relating to gas and some other things. So below that red line, you'll be able to see if an NFT is dropped or not. You'll be able to see on this list as well, if you bought like day 4 and then you bought like day 9 or whatever it is, your NFT might have been dropped the first time and not the second time. So you're like, oh, I only have one NFT. Where's my second one? It's not dropped yet. Anyway, so that kind of gives you that fill in. Back to the dashboard here. This is kind of cool. We have a chat area now, so you guys can ask questions there, and I can respond to those questions, or other people can respond to those questions. Obviously, we have all the recent live streams. Look at the Tufi interviews, man. They're all up to date. Even today's is already in there, banging along. Somebody asked me, when are you going to update? Anyway, it's updated. We even have yesterday's MetaMask video. These are the tech tip video section right down here, the educational videos. We are building a section in this member dashboard where we're going to do a university. This is going to be a step-by-step tutorial from taking your fiat dollars from your bank account all the way into a crypto exchange, how to trade on a crypto exchange, all the way to a wallet, what to do with that wallet. It's going to be the coolest step-by-step thing in your little journey of crypto. And by the end of it, you guys should be able to understand everything that I do in crypto, hopefully. So this should be really good. Anyway, so hopefully that helps.
And there's like, the reason we're doing this is because there are just a minimum amount of skills that you need so that you just don't nuke all your money into the hyperspace, right? Like we're finding out, especially Brandon is with the customer service side of nodes and memberships and all this kind of stuff, that a lot of people don't know how to go from their bank account into Coinbase or Kraken, a centralized exchange, send currency units of some kind into a MetaMask wallet, and pay using crypto. The whole point of all of this is that I hope that you guys would see the benefit of being able to settle debts, both public and private, using crypto assets. I mean, that's what PayPal is trying to do. Sure, it's a damn failure and a flop, but it won't be forever. Wouldn't it be funny? I know they won't do it, but they should just list USDC. What are they doing? What are they doing at PayPal? This is how you know they're just in it to put money in their back pocket. And another thing, has anybody, I may have harped on this. Brandon, have you ever had PayPal take money away from you?
Yeah, twice. Well, yeah, twice. This was back when I first started with PayPal. It was a joke. So, cray. Unfortunately,
they're bad, man.
Howard,
they're bad,
you
man.
gotta Howard, DM me on Discord. We got to get this figured out. Either she signed up on a different account or something happened, because I still don't see it under your name. And you're giving me that wallet. I can't search by wallet like that. There's too many wallets. So,
bam.
Anyway.
Okay, should we get into some, which there's some interesting AI news, because there's always interesting AI news. We got some Google stuff. We got some Tesla stuff. I think we should talk about it. Okay, Brandon, I say to you, Google announces a slew of AI upgrades. What do you think? What runs through your mind?
I don't know. They're playing catch up all the time. Google is right now. That's what I feel like.
So I listened to the CEO of Google, and well, I listened to the CEO of Google. I listened to the CEO of OpenAI. Basically, there was an interview of all these guys, and one of the things that's being levied against these companies is like, you guys a year ago you were cutting your AI staff, and they're basically saying no. It's just that we no longer needed a special department for AI when AI is going to be deployed across every single product we have, which is either really good spin or makes sense. I was pissed yesterday because ChatGPT was doing, I guess they were doing an upgrade, and you couldn't use it for like 2 hours. And I was like, damn it. Why do I feel like I'm back in the Stone Age, stuck with this stupid phone and Siri? I don't want to say her name because she takes over all of my stuff. Anyway, Google unveiled what they consider an avalanche of new AI tools and capabilities at the kickoff of their 3-day Google Next conference. And this was in San Francisco. This started yesterday. So their cloud services added 20 new pre-built AI models that are optimized for enterprise level customers, where it allows you to gain access to systems like Llama 2, which is Meta, Claude 2, which is Anthropic. I think it's interesting that Google is basically allowing you to have access to all these different models. There's a new AI watermarking tool called Synth ID, which aims to distinguish AI images while curbing disinformation and deepfakes. Oh, okay. Open access for cloud customers to next-gen TPU v5e AI training chips optimized for generative AI and LLMs. So this is basically them just rolling out a data center. Ooh, be interesting to see if you could run a hypercycle data center via their v5e AI training chip cloud thing. That'd be interesting. I bet some people are going to do that. Like, why, if the price made sense, you could run, well, that's interesting. Anyway, Google's Duet AI assistant is officially being rolled out across major workspace apps with a price tag of about $30 per month per user for enterprise access. Brandon.
Yes, I know. I know. I get
it. I'm just saying. So for those of you that don't know, we're trying to add an AI, I don't know, you call it a widget or whatever, but we want to have either access to GPT-4.
Integration. We'll call it AI integration.
AI integration. Integration. I guess you could go long A integration. Anyway, at Digital Investor, so you'd have that too. And of course, when Twin launches, we will be having access where people can be training their twin, and we will have a Brandon twin and a me twin that people can consult in real time. Although we may, in the beginning, restrict that to digital private clients where they've been extremely indemnified, because if the robot does something stupid, because the first rule of robots is the robot's always broken. So in the beginning, we want to make sure that we don't. Anyway, we're going to be rolling that out, but time will tell. All right. Google has updated their cloud-based Vertex AI platform, which includes upgrades to Palm 2, enhanced code generation, and a new search model for their various conversational model deployments. And then there's a new Google AI partnership, which includes, this is pretty cool, General Motors, Fox Sports, Estee Lauder, Ginkgo Bioworks. I'm sure they start selling True Root and some other crap. Anyway, so that's kind of cool. So while OpenAI's ChatGPT Enterprise launch kind of dominated headlines a few days ago, Google basically said, hold my beer. And then they came out with their laundry list of new things. Although, and while these new things are cool, I think the recurring theme here is enterprise, AI enterprise. So kind of cool. Brandon, does it make you want to use more googly? Do you want to use some Google AI stuff?
I'm a Google fan. That's all I use. So, but here's the thing too. With enterprise, what that means is basically open source. With open source, that comes thousands and hundreds of thousands of people using the product. It's going to iterate at a level that they couldn't iterate before. So
iterate. Tesla fires up their new AI supercomputer. You hear about this? So, and remember, is Tesla a car company or is Tesla a robotics company? They claim they're a robotics company. Well, I don't know what any of their pronouns are. I don't even know if you can say they. Can we even say they, or is that assuming too much? Anyway,
The assumption's
whew,
too much.
it's tough to be woke, bro. The rundown. Basically, Tesla launched a $300 million AI supercomputer with 10,000 NVIDIA chips. 10,000. And their aim is to accelerate their somewhat controversial self-driving tech. By the way, I'm buying one of those stupid trucks. My brother got one.
What?
He's on the list.
The Cybertruck?
Yeah, because for a novelty item, I think it'll be a good rental. It'll make you the target of every. It's like the people are going to look at you with it like the same way people looked at like rich people wearing like fur coats and they wanted to spray paint you. Shh, you dick. Like, I think it's going to be the same thing. I'm not driving that thing in public. Anyway, it looks like a Lego that got stepped on and just got wheels. Anyway, but Tesla is not back. They're not shying away. So their new system of 10,000 NVIDIA chips, I think those are A100s. I don't think they're H100s. But anyway, the new system's performance capabilities reportedly place it as one of the most powerful supercomputers in the human world, and it aims to speed up training on Tesla's full self-driving software. The launch is part of their $4 billion plus investment in AI training over the next 2 years. $4 billion in the next 2 years. So when we tell you that, certain investments don't make sense because there's no way that they could really compete, this is the kind of money they're throwing around. So when someone says, hey, we're gonna launch a large language model, or we're gonna launch a this or that, you got to be very careful that the thing that they're doing is not competing with Microsoft at 10 billion, Tesla at 4 billion, and just deploying massive sums of money and just moneying any small companies out of being able to compete. It is what it is. On the other side of it, I'm sure there will be some very niche little innovations where you could use much smaller language models, but with much higher efficacy at much more affordable rates, but you're still going to get moneyed out of it. So anyway, Tesla's move comes on the heels of both Elon Musk's, their full self-driving demo, where he still drove a little bit, but, just so that he wouldn't go into an intersection where cars were going to smash him. So they got to work that bug out. Obviously, the don't drive into oncoming traffic bug, but they'll work that out, as well as the company's upcoming legal battles over some of their previous fatal crashes. So, but I would still say this: the Tesla full self-driving mode is still better than humans. So, like on the aggregate, you're like, oh my God, 3 people in Teslas died. Yes, that's terrible. But at the same time, compared to the same amount of other humans, like, oh, well, 30,000 people died, like on Texas highways. What would it have been if they'd been driving Teslas? Well, probably much less, because it wouldn't care that you're drunk. You're, a drunk hillbilly coming home from the bar. I'm not saying that everybody in Texas is a drunk hillbilly coming home from the bar, but I'm not saying they're not. Anyway, Tesla continues to push the autonomous limits of its kind of position and stature, and Tesla does cool stuff. So I guess the way I look at it is, you may not like Elon, and a lot of people hammer him and they're like, well, he didn't invent anything. Yeah, you know what? He didn't invent anything. That's true. But he's really good at taking a company with potential and pushing it into the point where it's actually delivering product on that potential. He's an engineer, and he's a bit of a salesman, and he has done pretty well. So I like parts of him, and then other parts of him maybe I don't agree with, but you know what? He's doing some cool things, and he's pushed the narrative. I mean, that we would not be, I don't think we'd be as far with electric vehicles without him.
I mean, are we going to talk? I mean, he's advanced things, but only because he really doesn't give a crap about anything, which bodes well for. him and for all the advancements that he's making. And we could talk about X here. No, X is basically moving forward with accepting digital payments on their platform. They got approved in Rhode Island, which is really cool. That's going to spread to the 50 states, which means they're going to integrate all of crypto. They're going to try to do what PayPal's supposedly trying to do, but better, in my opinion. Obviously, you saw a little jump in Dogecoin yesterday, but they cannot use Doge. Doge is inflationary beyond all means. Doge is the worst tokenomics of any token that exists on the blockchain. So if they're going to use Doge, I feel horrible. It's basically like the US dollar. They can print unlimited money. They're printing, 14 million Dogecoin a day, which is absurd. But basically, X is going to be accepting payments for all of their things. That means they're going to be paying creators in payments. They're going to be accepting payments in there. They're going to hold, their filing was to hold cryptocurrency. So that means an exchange is going to be built into X, into the old Twitter or whatever. So a lot of stuff. I like what Elon does.
Yeah. And I mean, whatever they do at Twitter, they're going to do, X. I think they are going to be very careful. I would look, if you want to find out what assets they're going to list, I mean, you don't have to look very far. Go look at their investors. Go look at if their investors have connections to either Digital Currency Group or Circle or one of the other stablecoin issuers. I don't think it'll be Tether after Tether's legal problems, but there will be a stablecoin. I'm not saying it won't be PUSD, because remember who started PayPal?
Yeah, I mean, I know, but yeah.
I'm just saying
You're
it
just
could
saying.
happen. All right.
He's moved on, though. He's moved on.
A couple of quick hits. Fox Sports has tapped Google AI to unlock their archives. They're expanding their partnership with Google Cloud, and the idea is to apply AI across all of their sports footage archives, and using Google's Vertex AI vision. Fox can rapidly search 1.9 million videos to create new content and assets, and they can do it almost in real time. So like during a game, you could go back and go, well, historically, and you could show all this really cool content. So that'll be kind of neat. We'll see how that plays out. GM is leveraging AI for OnStar requests. So if anybody's ever used OnStar, it usually means you're in a bad situation, but they're using Google's conversational AI to handle simple OnStar requests like navigation, and it frees up human operators for like safety related issues. So the AI that they're using reduces wait times and has reportedly received positive feedback. This is good. Instead of people like, I hate you, robot. And then there's user handbook assistance. So what I think is going to be very soon is that you will just, like, I can already talk to my car. I can say, like I say, hey, Mercedes, turn on my chair massage. And it's like, okay, John Wick, I'll do that. And then you're like, it's so awesome. And only sometimes does it then send me like plotting a course to massage chair. Well, like, no, don't do that. But it works more than it doesn't. So I'm already seeing the benefits of narrow AI. So I'm excited. That's really about all the stuff that I thought was super. I mean, there's all sorts of little niche stories, but I thought that was the coolest stuff. Brandon, any new AI shenanigans, goings-ons that you thought were worthy of discussion?
AI, no, I'm more interested in what the market's been doing over the last couple days.
Should we look?
So
should we look?
If we could take a gander at that would be cool. I'm trying to change my name from Bill to Brandon over in the member dashboard. I keep messing with What? You don't cut me off. I'm trying to not be Bill on the dashboard anymore, because how are things I'm messing with him? How are things?
Let me make this bigger.
Go ahead, make it bigger.
So
yes,
we're still kind of butting up against that 1.1 trillion market cap. Does anybody in the chat remember where we were in the markets in 2021 in the big hypey cryptarded stupid YOLO, everybody taking their $2.1 trillion worth of funny money that they were given by the Treasury and just YOLO'd it into every nook and cranny. Does anybody remember what the market cap was of the crypto space? Ballpark. Bam. Nailed it. And yeah, and I think for a few minutes, like we were over 3 trillion. That was peak stupid, right? And so you think, okay, what does that mean? Well, if you look at every peak in this growing crypto ecosystem, all the way back from 2009 when it was nascent and no one knew what it was, and the only douchebags that were doing anything were these people that are now gurus and my brother. None of whom we listened to.
Oh, crap.
And then I know, God, I don't think about that. Anyway, but if you look at the peaks and valleys, and you had the dip, and then you had, up to 2014 and then empty gox, and then you had up to 2017, and then you had to sell off in 18, 19, 2021, it comes back up. And then when you had 22 is quiet, 23 is pretty quiet. So every single time you get these expansions of the market cap by a 3 to 5x. Now, some of the assets will disproportionately go, but this is just the entire market cap. So my guess is we will see a $9 to $10 trillion market cap 2024, 2025 in the next round of peak stupidity and cryptardedness. It's a lot easier to behave like a competent fiduciary, a competent investor right now than it is when everything's green and you're like, it feels like you're at the top of a swing for many, many months because you're making like, oh my God, you see all these currency units. Oh, I got to think about taxes. And people start panicking and people do a lot of stupid crap. And the other thing that I would urge people to do is remember not to take on debt and gamble when you start seeing things go up. I don't know why this tends to captivate people. The idea that and I know I could tell you some cautionary tales. I know a person who, I was telling Brandon about this the other day. I know somebody that when Bitcoin passed 30,000 in 2021, it was early 2021, late 2020, early 2021, it started moving. And everybody's like, it's coming, it's going to happen. So what did a bunch of people do? Well, we know it's going to go. We know for a fact Bitcoin's going to 100,000. Therefore, if we borrow when Bitcoin's like 40 or 50,000, and then we borrow against what we borrowed. So what happened is this particular individual borrowed when Bitcoin was in the high 20s. And when it got into the 40s, he borrowed against the equity in his borrowed position. He didn't pay down the position. No. He took that equity and he leveraged that up by borrowing more Bitcoin. So his one Bitcoin turned into like 5 or 6 Bitcoin. The problem with that is that when Bitcoin unwinds from the highest position of leverage that you're at, even just a little bit, you have to service all of that with new money. And if you don't have new money because you've gotten leveraged all the way up to the edge, now you have to start selling. And when other people start selling, you have cascading liquidations. And then you have people, for instance, yesterday, when the decision to have the SEC reissue their opinion and all this kind of crap happened, and Grayscale got the win because people were shorting Bitcoin, because for the days and weeks before that, everybody was peak depression. $90 million was, I think in the first hour, $90 million was liquidated in short positions. And then by the end of the day, it was $125 million. That's $125 million from people gambling at the bottom of a market that Bitcoin's going to keep going down. I want to say this. Oh, it does look slow, doesn't it? I'm very slow. Well, then I'll say this slow.
You're like,
I don't know why.
your camera's trying to catch up or something.
Yeah. Well, here, we'll do this.
Here. There
I'll
we
ju-
go. Look at
You
that.
can hear me though, right? You can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. Nice
Okay.
and
Well,
clear.
if you can hear me, then I'll say this. If you're shorting Bitcoin right now, you're an asshole. Like, what can you possibly gain by shorting something that's gone down for 2 years straight? You dummy. Everybody that loses money with leverage in crypto deserves to lose all of their stuff. Every effing dime. See you later, bye. Go gamble at the casino. Just be more honest with yourself. Just go gamble. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling, man.
Here's the thing too, Nick. I'm going to share my screen over here because this is kind of what this is. It's a liquidation heat map. And as we see things kind of leveling out here and getting back to green/red all over the board, yesterday, or when was that? When was the grayscale announcement? It was yesterday morning.
It was yesterday morning. Yep.
When everything jumped. You see this big candle over here in Bitcoin. That was yesterday, right? So when everything jumped up right here, how do you make my screen bigger? There we go. When everything jumped right here, this heat map was solid red. There were $42 million in shorts that were liquidated because everybody was going short, just like you talked about. Everybody was going short, and this thing was blood red. Ethereum was blood red. Everything was blood red on this chart, meaning everybody was getting wrecked because they were having to recover their short positions, because what had been happening is Bitcoin's been capitulating for so long. It's been going sideways. So people are like, oh no, it's going to drop. It's going to drop. It's going to drop. And when good news catalyst came out, things started to jump really quickly. And then things jumped even quicker. And then they had to start liquidating. So then things skyrocketed. And that's what's going to happen every time.
And I'll do you one better. I bet when it started jumping up, people started taking leverage the other way, like assholes.
Yeah, I mean, which increases the volatility, right? Which that's what makes this so volatile and kind of fun at the same time. But you're also going to get wrecked. Just like, I mean, this chart literally just says how many people got wrecked in 1 hour type of thing. That's what that's what it says right here. Did you get wrecked? You know what I'm saying? And that was blood red yesterday. Everybody was getting wrecked. So yeah, it's just a dangerous game to play. You're playing basically liar's dice. You're playing a game of roulette, and it's not going to work out well for you. Let's see.
And I don't know why people don't learn. I don't know why it's so difficult for people to understand that they keep getting their ass kicked with leverage over and over in a market that can pay you a 10, a 20, a 50, or 100x in assets. You need another 50% leverage. Like it's like people just don't, they're so bad at math, and they're so stuck on this idea that everyone deserves to win. Everyone does not deserve to win. You work to win. Matter of fact, you work and maybe you win, right? Doing the work doesn't even guarantee it. But the best chance you have is if you do the work. But if you do all the work and then you gamble all your shit away, you deserve to lose all of it, because that's how it works. And there's this weird sense, this is something that we probably want to talk about more too, but there's this weird sense that everyone deserves. I deserve. I'm entitled to win. No, bro. There's no sense of deserving, entitlement. There's no fundamental principle of fairness in the universe. It doesn't work that way. Everybody doesn't deserve. Everybody here's not going to win. I mean, if they're digital investors, they'll win because they'll gain education, and you win more often than you would lose with education. But there's no guarantee. There's like zero absolute. You just got to give yourself the best chance to succeed, and then don't do stupid shit and give it back. And when people take leverage, and I told these people, I was like, stop. What are you doing? Why are you borrowing against? If you really think Bitcoin's going to 100K, do you need to borrow against your 3 Bitcoin to have 10? Oh, well, I'll make twice as much. Yeah, or lose all of it. And guess what? So you want to know what the PS, by the way, is of this story? It's all gone. This dude lost everything. So he built his account up, his crypto account, over $1 million in value, unadjusted value if you don't count for leverage. And when it unwound, he lost everything. His crypto account is a few Ethereum and a bunch of excuses, like a dummy. It happens a lot. There was a lot of in 2021, I'm sure you saw it, but when people were starting to make money in NFTs, it started to make people take bigger risks in leverage because they're like, well, these people in the NFT space are just making money printing cartoons. Yeah, because that was a tiny little fire in the pan type of a situation. And this whole YOLO meme coin bullshitty environment, it spawned, like right now, it's all about the meme coins, right? And oh God, I get frustrated when I see people lose money being stupid and gambling because you just don't have to. Like you can go slow and win. And again, I'm sorry, my camera, I'm even looking at my face being slow and creepy. I'm not sure why that
is. Let's
but
talk
my
about
guess
this
is
too really quickly.
my
You
guess
talk about
is
the NFT market. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, my guess is that it has to do with Spectrum sucking. But anyway,
Here,
Joseph asks.
reset. Oh yeah, after you answer this, reset your camera. I'll say something for a second.
Okay. How does game theory specifically help you in the crypto market? I know about the prisoner's dilemma, etc., but don't get the use in the crypto market. Well, game theory is not specific to the crypto market. Game theory helps you evaluate payoffs and rewards inside systems in competitive environments. It is the strategic interactions between players in a game, and it dictates not only situations in economics, but negotiations, political in nature, biology, evolution. Understanding game theory is to understand the motivations between two rational individuals and how they are all trying to maximize their payoffs and what that interdependence, that strategic interdependence looks like. SIPG, right? The strategic interdependence between the players in a game. And if you understand the way people maximize their own benefits, and if you understand the way just any two organisms try to maximize their reward function, their payoffs in any kind of environment, then it gives you predictive abilities. And if you can better predict outcomes, and actually just simply thinking about the idea of predicting outcomes based on math and algebra and calculus puts you way ahead of Joe Sixpack, who just can't wait to get to Saturday and Sunday so he can watch college football and then he watches NFL. Then go to the bar, get drunk, go to the honky tonk, then drive home and talk about how his team won. Your team doesn't give a shit about you. You think these dudes, if you can't pay rent, anyway, don't let me go off on that thing. But long story short, understanding how the strategic relationship between players in any scenario, in any competitive scenario, how they interrelate gives you a certain amount of predictability, especially among your peers, and you're competing against your peers and really no one else. You're just trying to maximize your own payoffs in your portfolio. And this is a system of thinking that will help you make those decisions and reduce a bunch of complex noise and bullcrappery into something that you can actually express your trading ideas and express your investment ideas. I hope that helps.
Yes, that helps a ton.
Go on, Brandon.
So here's what we got right here. I mean, we're just looking at the NFT space, the mass amount of people that rushed into this space at the top. I mean, Bored Ape was selling at a price of 100 Ethereum at the high point. And right now we're sitting at 28 Ethereum, obviously a huge drop in the NFT space. But if we look over at the charts, this is the OpenSea volume. You can kind of see the run up when everybody was super excited about these NFTs and stuff and everything was happening right here. And now you see right now where the volume is compared to that time period. NFTs have dropped off the moon, and they're also a very big indicator of, I guess, sentiment in the market and other things. And this one, I think, where some of the most money was burned in the space in total is on the Ethereum blockchain and other places. Maki brother, he's one of the big investors in Bored Ape Yacht Club. Originally, he had hundreds of these Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs with his investment group and himself. and he watched this thing get up over over 100 ETH, 120 ETH or whatever. Watched that thing all the way up and all the way down, and then he started trading on Blur. He ends up being over. I think at the last point, the last tweet that I saw, and I can't find it or anything like that, but he is down over $200 million on his trades in Bored Ape Yacht Club, Azuki, and some of the other NFTs because he was trying to farm over on Blur. And as he was dumping the market over on Blur, he kept buying and buying, buying, and there was more sellers flooding the market during this time period. So he ended up bag holding a lot and ended up losing money. This isn't paper. This is he actually ended up having to sell and liquidate his NFTs. I don't know if he was leveraged or not, but he's down over $200 million on NFTs, trading in and out of these NFTs. So it doesn't just happen in Bitcoin. This can happen in NFTs as well, because right now there's services that allow you to go leverage to buy these NFTs, to buy Bored Ape Yacht Club and some of these other NFTs that will allow you to go get those NFTs on margin. And you can buy against that and get loans against your NFTs. So in turn, they were going and buying more of these NFTs. And so the liquidation process happened exponentially quicker. It was crazy to see that.
And again, I don't know why my screen's all jackbooted, but the long story short is if you're borrowing against the stuff that you borrowed, against the stuff that you borrowed in a bullshit fake market anyway, you deserve to lose everything. No surprise that a bunch of, I mean, let's be honest, financial idiots that YOLO'd their way into the NFT space all got nuked. Why? Because most, not all, but most of them never knew anything anyway. They knew nothing about investing. There's a couple people that got real lucky. It's the same thing in the Bitcoin space. And the same thing with Ethereum. There are people that bought Bitcoin at 12 cents and 20 cents and had 14 bucks or $100 worth of Bitcoin in 2010. And all of a sudden they're rich. And that makes like survivor bias, right? Like people start to think, oh, I must be smart. No, that doesn't make you smart. It makes you lucky. If you're lucky, go back and figure out why you got lucky and educate yourself. Otherwise, you'll give it all back. And it's just one story after the next of these people giving all of the money back. They always do.
Right here we have BitKitty ATX. Yes, okay. And Nick's talked about this a long time. These JPEG NFTs are absolutely in every way, shape, and form worthless. The only utility is if you're able to trade one and sell it for higher and you made some sort of a lucky flip on this thing. But you bring up a good point, and this is really because of what we're doing over Digital Investor and what Hypercycle is going to be doing. NFTs do have real purpose, and you'll start to see that more and more as we keep rolling out this node program. Their whole node license, that whole node license is going to be an ERC 721, which technically is an NFT. And when we wrap that up with the tokens, it's going to turn into an 1155, which is another type of NFT, but with a little bit more functionality. It becomes a smart contract itself. And when it's wrapped up in an 1155, that smart contract has a whole bunch of code in it that you can go on the blockchain. You can read that smart contract and you can see that code and you can start calling functions. As long as your wallet owns that 1155, you'll be the owner of that NFT and it will have a function like split. And if you have 8 nodes, for example, you'll be able to split that 1155 8 times. And you'll be able to split that into 8 1155s. And each one of those 1155s will then be in your wallet. That original 1155 will be burnt. And I know I'm just using these numbers, but that's basically what's going to happen. It might sound technical, but think it through a little bit when we get through this. But NFTs do have function, and you're going to see that as we go through this hypercycle node phase. You're going to see, oh my gosh, this actually works. And there's actually a reason and utility behind having these NFTs on chain where it's verified by the ledger, and you can actually use a smart contract to interact with this thing. And then all of the transactions, all of the AI stuff, all of the reputation and stuff is going to be comprised within that NFT as well. All that data is going to be stored in there on chain forever. So it's going to have provenance. It's going to have utility in that people are going to be able to go through and be like, okay, when was this thing first sold? When was it bought again? When was it sold to another guy? When was it transferred? All that stuff's going to be maintained and kept within the NFT, and that's really cool. Oh crap, you're all kinds of muted now. Let me help you.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah, it's still very glitchy. But anyway, I hope that's not my new plastic box thing. Damn it.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, why Ocean Protocol is important. It's more about data. It's more about having a data marketplace so that companies can come and either they can look for specific pools of data, they can source data, they can take data that they may have accumulated over many years in some kind of siloed way and proprietary way. They could anonymize that, they could sell it, they could allow it to be data mined. So when you think Ocean Protocol, think data marketplace. That's the same way you should think about Arweave. Although Ocean Protocols, I think, has gotten a lot more traction. Also, they have a partnership, kind of a working partnership / relationship with Fetch. So that's kind of cool.
Fetch been making some moves lately. Obviously, if we were to pull down on your chart there, or I can actually show mine here, Fetch is actually holding up better than almost anything over the last couple of weeks. And look, it's still positive today, even though the rest of the market took a little bit of a dump backwards. Fetch is looking really good, and I like the position Fetch is in, and I think this is something we're going to be able to talk about on Friday. We're going to see where that sits in our portfolio and see where we're going to start adding some other tokens in and around Fetch. So YOLO'd into GME, Doge, AMC, Raven coin. Okay.
When did you do this? This is okay. He's joking.
He's joking. That's like 8-year-old news, maybe 12-year-old news.
That's like all the worst choices anyone could make all together. Well played, sir. Well played.
Pancake and Sushi Swap. That's basically the BNB type of Uniswap. No, I mean, it's a good platform, but I just we don't, and you'll see this too as we go down our digital investor journey. We just don't swap a lot of BNB tokens. The Ethereum blockchain just seems to have more credibility. You can get locked on the BNB chain, and I think that ultimately your risk is too high sometimes over there for the return that you're going to get versus just staying on the Ethereum blockchain and swapping into coins over here. So did not buy go through. Sarah, yeah, you're good. I saw yours come through this morning. You're good, Sarah. You should be golden. I'll double check. Anyway, what else do we got, Nick? What else you got?
I think that pretty much as I every 17th frame. I think
you're
we'll
like
wrap it.
You're like a stop motion animation.
Boop, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, 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 beep, boop. I think what we'll do is we'll wrap it up for today. We will get as many of the NFTs that we are using for the node licenses knocked out as soon as possible. Yep. We will get for those of you that want to get caught up, go watch the video This Week in Hypercycle with Tufi. Watch Brandon's tech tip video. If you want to listen to Anthony Scaramucci and myself drone on, you can go listen to that interview. And then, yeah, that's about it. It is $99 a month, my man.
Yes, $99. Oh, Sarah paid us twice for annual. Good, thanks, Sarah. We appreciate that. That's what she may be saying.
Oh,
I refunded one of them just now, Sarah. I got you. Yeah, but twice is cool too.
Twice is great.
Twice is great, but I refunded one of them, Sarah. You're good to go. Yeah, $99 a month. We look forward to Friday. Friday is going to be a good session. We're going to be really diving into the portfolio, into our digital university training, and a lot of other things. You're not going to want to miss Friday's episode. And as you all know, it is going to be locked over at Digital Investor. That's where you're going to go. Hit the dashboard up. The player's right there on the page. Just hit play when we start up Friday. Same time, same place.
And we're going to experiment with having like the first 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, we'll do the first 10 or 15 minutes
out,
here. And then we'll lock it up. We'll head on over. Yeah.
Fancy. Okay. On that note, let's call today. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything my poor, insolvent, drunk, strung out on meth grandmother or Brandon or my sketchy ass camera wouldn't do, which is very little.
If you're an accredited investor and you want in on angel, seed round or early round equity and token opportunities in the artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency space, Schedule an interview at nickblacknext.com. In life, you can either be really good, really lucky, or just be first. Being first is so much easier. Schedule a digital private client interview today at nickblacknext.com. If you're an accredited